Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche pregame show brought to you by Bet365. We got Fresh Kid A, Fresh Kid E, Fresh Kid R, Fresh Kid T, and we're pretty much amazing. Avs taking on the New York Islanders tonight. Looking to make it a winning streak, looking to start 2024 off the right way. How you guys feeling? You feel like the Avs have started to turn a corner here? Like Georgiev has started to turn a corner here? Or is it fresh slate for the new year?
No trust.
No trust. All right.
Yeah, they've
fair
been
enough.
way
You've
too
been
inconsistent for me. Yeah, they've just been way too inconsistent for me to believe that they've turned a corner until we're, 12 games into like a 9-3 stretch or an 8-4 stretch where I'm like, yeah, all right, we're
They
good.
figured it out. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I'm probably on the same page. I think these next, week and a half will be telling too. Some good opponents and some good games and a lot of games. So I think it'll be telling on where they are with the consistency of it all. You know what I mean? I agree with AJ. So,
well,
when your schedule gets
for real,
real hard over the next 3 weeks, between now and the All-Star break, it is not kidding around.
I'm not calling the Islanders a bad team by any stretch, but they may be the easiest team on the schedule for the next couple weeks.
They are.
So you got to make hay while you can.
They're basically the easiest team on that schedule until they go out east, and
that whole road trip's a nightmare. But yeah.
Even the games where you're like, oh, Ottawa, Montreal, that's not that bad. Oh, they're on a back-to-back.
Yep. Tough ones out here.
All right.
Hey, Ottawa scored again. Good for them. They got it back. Before we get into the content of today, let's hear what Jared Bednar had to say at today's morning skate.
What did he have to say?
Tiff wasn't ready. Guy caught her. We got her, chat. We got her.
Tiff got reputation. Well, Coach, the Islanders kind of have a reputation.
All right. While she looks for Jared
playing that
Bednar,
sort of defensive,
power play,
very
good or
structured,
bad?
disciplined style.
One word answer. Bad.
But productive.
I guess I would say bad for what it should be for the Avs, not bad relative to the NHL.
We're on the same page.
Yeah,
and that's why they're productive, because they're so good. They're good players.
Yeah,
they're elite players. So
goals for is high, a little bit more high event on the defensive side of it as well, but their goaltending's been outstanding too. So I mean, with the amount that they're scoring and the goaltending that they're getting, they're a tough team to beat right now.
They're one of the older teams in the league. As you get to that stage where you have a little bit of an older roster, are there things that a coach may be thinking of and changing in terms of a team's systems?
I think you're playing systems that fit your personnel. Like they still move really well. And part of their defending too is they're missing two of their top defenders, right? Like they've been missing them for a while, so that can make a big difference. We know the significance of just one guy being out of the lineup, 2D being out of the lineup makes a big difference. But I think they're well rounded in their game. Like they had trouble creating offense for the last few years, I would say, but their personnel and the way they're playing now this year, they just become much more dangerous, both off the rush and in offensive zone play. What they do really well is they go to the net hard. So their D can shoot the puck, their forwards can get pucks through, and then they go to the net and crash the net hard. So deflections, screens, rebounds, low slot drives, like they're going to make it tough on you around the paint in your end. So we have to be prepared for that.
Coach, it's kind of a weird time of year. Obviously, you have the holiday break, you guys have some games, and New Year's. Is it hard to keep a rhythm this time of year, or is it better with guys being able to get away?
I mean, holiday break is a couple days, which I think you need after playing every second day. We're back at it now. We're going to be playing every second day for a while. I mean, the schedule's going to get real busy here, so I think it should be easy to find a rhythm, getting a day off after you come back for 3 or 4 days, I think is expected. We try to hit a day off every fifth day, at the longest. So, I think it should be easy for our team to sort of find a rhythm and do what we need to do to win hockey games.
We saw Ross Colton out there. Is he good to go tonight?
He's probable, yeah.
I think your power plays at it's either 14 goals in 10 games or 15 in 11.
Yeah.
There was a stretch right before that where he didn't score for couple weeks almost? Just
Yeah.
what has changed?
Well, I think two things. I think the work-based part of it has improved, checking pucks back, getting numbers around the puck, winning battles, keeping plays alive in the offensive zone. That's been better. And then the biggest thing probably is just they're taking what the other team gives us. Like, they're not getting stuck on one play. They're not looking for something that isn't there, forcing plays. It's just, I feel like oftentimes if the power play just moves the puck quickly and hits the open man, something's going to open up for them. And those three guys around the umbrella have been shooting the puck. We've been shooting it, getting it back, attacking out of chaos a little bit. That attack mentality's been there. The pace of the power play's improved, and they're getting rewarded for it.
So, Bednar, kind of reiterating some of the things we've talked about with the power play. At times, the Avs forcing things a little bit too much. They're significantly better when they move their feet. No big surprises there, but interesting to see the head coach reiterate those things.
All things that we've talked about is a point of emphasis of it stagnates too easily.
Yep.
They stand around. They just kind of, whoa.
That's a good way to describe it.
It's not great, Bob.
Moving beyond the power play, Bednar said it. Islanders kind of not the Islanders this year.
Yeah.
They're a team that's scoring a bunch of goals lately. Their defense hasn't been the team you expect them to be. They're not playing 2-1 games every night this year.
It's a bottom 5 defensive team in the NHL this year. You go and you look at everything that they do. They give up a ton of scoring chances. They give up a ton of high danger chances. They get outshot every night. And they win because they are scoring goals. What? And Ilya Sorokin is a demigod.
Yeah.
A what?
A demigod.
What is that? Oh, demigod.
Like an uber god. The god of gods.
That's
not what
like
a demigod
demigod is
is.
like a half god.
Yeah,
No.
it's half human, half god.
Like Hercules
means
is a
half.
demigod.
yeah, so that's still a good thing.
Okay. I'll allow it. He's still a demigod.
Hercules, Prometheus.
And he's not playing, so perfect.
Hercules is a
Easy
he's a
life.
half god.
Yeah. His
I don't
mom
know anything
was,
about Hercules,
His mom was
apparently.
well, so don't think about the Disney version because the Disney version is fucked up and way too kid friendly.
I never
and you
saw
don't like
that
Disney?
movie.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. I guess I'm Googling Hercules tonight.
You are in for a whirlwind.
His whatever 5 trials or whatever.
12.
Is it 12?
12 labors of Hercules.
Yeah, that's what they
Jesus.
are. He had to kill the Hydra. Crazy stuff.
And the lion and the crab.
I thought Scott Pilgrim had it bad.
Yeah.
All because his stepmother is a bitch.
Wow. Tiff is in on this.
I told you, I've made. Never mind. Never mind.
This is Percy Jackson lore. Confirmed.
All right.
Tonight's game, he's ready to go over here with his big 3 keys.
Did I
Broke
say
my screen,
Prometheus, I
too.
meant Theseus.
Uh-oh, he needs a new phone.
Dropped on the floor this morning.
A classic maneuver. Let's see what the Avs have to do to win tonight.
Gonna go like this way. I can't read it. Kidding. No. Number 1, grind it out. Opportunities will be there. We just talked about it. They give up a ton of high danger chances. Grease it out. Go to Pizza Hut. Own the corners. I mean, it's a little bit. I wrote this before Bednar's presser, and puck protection is key, and do all that kind of stuff in the corner. Be above pucks, and don't cheat the game, and you should be in good shape. Number 2. No stubbornness between the blue lines. I do believe between the blue lines, they still lock it down. They still try to take the space away, kind of like the Seattle Kraken, so to speak, But if you get through with your speed. Speed kills, and if it's there, take it. If it's not there, be smart. Miles Wood's probably the best at it. I know that's his game, but you just push it to yourself, right? I'm just saying it. I'm not old school and a dinosaur about dump and chase. It's not what I'm saying. But there's a way to be smart, right? To get in there and then don't turn pucks over between the blue lines. So, and then number 3, I do believe tonight's a bat on the net. I was expecting Sorokin, obviously, but good old friend Varley's in there tonight. Still, Varley is familiar with this building, and we're talking about Georgiev, turn the corner. I do believe it's rare I say that, but highest save percentage tonight wins. I think we're going to look at it tonight. One of the 2 guys in there, whoever has the highest save percentage, their team's going to win the game. Challenge the guy that's at the other end. And then I think the start will be the key tonight. The start is the key. If goalie Georgiev can feel the puck, hopefully he's the guy that's going to feel the puck. And we all know that the Avs, they can go 10, 15 minutes without giving up a shot. And it almost sounds like a negative thing. It's not, but it is somehow tough on goalies sometimes because you want to feel the puck a little bit. So if he feels the puck early, I think he's in for a big one, and there'll be a fun battle with good old Varley and Net at the other end.
It's for Georgiev. It's now an above 900 save percentage in 4 of his last 5. 2 of those he's only given up 1 goal in. Sure, one of those is a game where he faced 11 shots on goal, but still.
That's good.
You gotta do the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just can't hold that against him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He made 10 of 11, which is all you can ask. That's if you save 10 of every 11 shots you face, you're going to win a lot of games, especially for this Avalanche team. So, you need to see him keep it going, though. You're heading into a month. Historically, the Avs have been quite good in January. You're looking at guys like MacKinnon, guys like Rantanen, who tend to dominate this stretch of the season. When it comes to the Islanders, AJ, do they have, outside of Sorokin, who obviously is not in tonight, do they have any star power that can really compete?
Can they compete with what the Avs have? No. But on a night-to-night basis, they've got what I think is the most underrated player in the entire NHL right now, in Brock Nelson.
Oh.
The guy he's a fantastic goal scorer. He's a good all-around player. And he's the guy, Matt Barzal is kind of like the sexy name and like the guy that people would, when you're looking at the lineup, that they've watched him. He's fast. He's a puck wizard. He does a lot of things that are fun, guy. Right? But in terms of being an actual consistent night in, night out effective player,
it's a little up and down.
It's Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
Brock Nelson's the guy that you really want to keep an eye on. But as is what you would expect from a Lou Lamoriello team, you do not get to go to sleep
against any line, yeah.
When any of their lines pop over the boards. Their fourth line is they're not as good as they used to be.
But they're still used to be all that good.
They're still physically miserable to play against.
Sure.
They've been together for like 45 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is absolutely
it's nuts though.
Yeah.
It's just the forward group is better than you would think. Their skill like sneakily snuck in everywhere, but there's also a lot of try hard, and that is a big part of their success. Why they're scoring goals. Their defense is weirdly not great this season. It's been a little in flux, but Noah Dobson has ascended into a top 10 defender this season. That's me being generous. It's really like top 5. He's been unbelievably good this year. So Noah Dobson, don't let that guy do it to you. Like I think he scored in their game in Long Island earlier this year.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So don't let Brock Nelson, Noah Dobson beat you, and you at least greatly increase your chances there.
Couple pieces missing, right, tonight for them? 2 big D's missing. Is it
Yeah,
Pelech
Pelech's been in and out all year, so day to day it's hard to keep up with what's wrong with that guy.
And God, who else is missing?
Tell you who isn't missing for the Avs.
It's Ross Colton.
Ross Colton back in the lineup.
So I have a quick question. I don't know if you were already going to touch on this, but I just immediately want to get into it.
Good.
Curtis McDermott comes out and Ben Myers stays in. They move him out of the center
wing,
and to the wall, which is fine.
Yeah.
Is this is this a meaningful opportunity for Ben Myers to be like, when Lehkonen comes back, you get rid of Kiviranta and keep me? Do we think that that's something that's on the table right now for real? Not just it's an opportunity, make choices, but I mean for real. Because when you look at Colorado's forward core with Lehkonen in it, the Tatar absence created that one really obvious hole that Kiviranta has kind of been plugging for a little bit here. Do we think that this is an actual opportunity for him?
Do I want to believe it's real? Yes. Let me put it to you this way. If over this next stretch of games Jared Bednar is willing to run Ben Myers out on the penalty kill, I'll believe it's real. Because right now, however we feel about Kiviranta, Bednar is using him on the penalty kill.
Yeah, but when Lehkonen comes back, Lehkonen will get used in that spot anyway, right?
I don't know how much usage will be there, especially at the start when you're not sure how up to speed Lecky's going to be. For me, especially for a guy that's a bottom six player in Ben Myers for the Avs, certainly this year, I just don't see Bednar switching off of a guy that has more NHL experience and that has the PK experience. So
Does Kiviranta have more NHL games than Ben Myers?
significantly
Oh, yeah.
so.
Yeah.
He played almost one full season in Dallas
he?
on top of a
Jeez.
couple of half seasons.
I knew he'd been here and there. I guess I missed the
And
full
he's,
season.
He
All right.
definitely has over 100 games. So
Clearly, I'm struggling to keep all my Dallas castoffs
no kidding,
straight.
dude. There's so many.
Maybe it's the Olofsson career arc that I'm thinking.
There
Anyway,
you
it
go.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's probably
it,
pretty close to
it
Olofsson
doesn't.
in games
It just
played.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Either way, my point being, I would do it without a doubt. I'll believe it when I see it, and I'll start to believe
Yeah.
it if Ben Myers gets some PK time.
But then to jump in there, you know me, what I always say. I mean, man, you have an opportunity. You have an NHL jersey on. You're not skating in Loveland tonight. You're skating for the Avs, and that's your opportunity to make them make decisions. I say that all the time, and I'll say it again. You got to force them to keep you. Like AJ just said, dude, is that what does he think? Like, oh my God, you keep me now. Absolutely, that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? Like you should want to your teammates. It's a team sport. It's not what I'm saying, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you want to eat your bread, and that's how it works.
The other
ahead.
aspect of this is that Ben Myers, when he plays tonight, I believe that will be 3 games away from
The waiver.
losing his waiver exempt status.
Yep.
So we still don't know when Leckety's coming back. So when they have another week of this,
When you see Riley
Where-
Tufte on Sunday, you'll know.
it's how do they feel about Ben Myers, not just right now, but as
Yeah.
an asset in their
Indefinitely,
organization.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing. You got to look around the league and think.
Because with
and
Kiviranta was on a PTO all preseason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kiviranta was signed. He's gone through waivers. Like we've seen with Kiviranta, teams have had chances with the guy.
Yep.
They've had chances to take a look at him and make their evaluations.
Ben Myers, you always got to go back to who was in the running to sign him. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
That's how he kind of look at it.
You
He
know,
gauges
there's
it.
a handful of teams that would be hungry for him on waivers.
Well, you could understand why Chicago's like, we don't need Yoel Kiviranta, but Chicago or San Jose is going to look at Ben Myers and be like,
We could do that. Yeah.
We'll do that.
especially San Jose is one of the teams that offered him an NHL deal the year before he left school.
There you go.
Decided
As
to
a
stay
sophomore,
one more.
so-
Yeah.
You have to, it's a little bit of a different front office these days than it was,
Yeah,
but
but still, it's there. I mean,
you do wonder, is
personnel
that
is still there.
exactly? Is that something? So just something to consider. That the waiver exempt status is, we always talk about that as a factor in these things, and then guys go unclaimed.
It's my problem with this is exactly what Eric said. You gotta go out and earn it. You gotta go out and prove yourself. I'm not saying Ben Myers has played bad. I think he's been fine.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's earned it so much as, at least on this podcast, we think Kiviranta has played himself out of that spot more than Ben Myers has taken it
Has
from
played
him.
himself into he's the obvious weakness in your forward core right now.
Exactly.
Beyond 2C, obviously.
That's a whole different
Obviously.
conversation.
No,
Yeah.
I'm on the same boat.
But
I
also,
agree.
Ben Myers playing next to Ross Colton and Logan O'Connor feels like an actual, hey, we're going to give you ice time here.
Yeah.
Kiviranta, for example, is still playing next to Cogliano and Olofsson.
Yeah. It's true.
So it feels like, hey, if that guy can fit in next to LOC, I mean, he
higher-
probably will because it's LOC and the guy's a
Who doesn't
magician.
fit in?
But
Well, I just, it makes everybody better, but I just hope that the experiment, not the experiment, but the way the line is tonight, like I hope for Ben's sake that things go his way at the start. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
where it's not like one of those periods with a bunch of power plays and penalty killings and there's no flow to it, and
Yeah.
then they're matching something, and then all of a sudden you played like really like 3 times 12 seconds, and you know what I mean. I just hope that there's a little bit of flow, a little bit of adventures. You know what I mean, like for him to grasp. So, and the two guys I was looking at was Pelech Pellick and Pollock. Those are the two guys that are out. Yeah.
Probably they're outside of Noah Dobson. Well, Pulak is the other guy that you have to worry about scoring goals from back
Yeah,
there.
Pulak. I
He's
keep
got a
saying
bomb.
Pollock. It's Pulak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pellick Pulak. Pellick Pulak.
That guy would be in a hardest shot competition if
Oh, he's got a
they
bomb.
just invited guys who are good at a skill instead of guys who are only at the All-Star game.
And it was good to see Lecky with the team today for a few minutes.
Yeah, even
Not
in the
just
no
by himself at
contact.
family sports. You know what I mean? It was just with other bodies. It's nice to see. You know?
Yep. You know,
That's
he's
always a
getting
good
closer.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Avs, I'm not saying this will be their best hockey of the season, but do they need to play their best hockey so far in January?
Yep.
No two ways?
To be honest with you, they just need to. They aren't far. It's not like they've
Yeah, I
got
agree.
so much work to do. You tighten up the screws in game. Even against the Sharks the other day, you saw the goal that they score. You're like, what the hell is this? How do you guys let this happen? The guy, Tomas Hertl's just standing alone in front of the net. That's unacceptable. And the goal that you should have given up to Mikhail Granlund at the end of the second period, where he's just standing by himself, just completely alone.
Yep.
And it's like, those are the things. You play a dominant game otherwise, but you have two ghastly breakdowns, and it nearly costs you a regulation win against those guys. I mean, we don't know how it goes if they score at the end of the second, but it's those caliber of breakdowns that you're like, how do you fix not making the big mistake? Because as a team, overall, through 60 minutes, you play pretty good hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly every night, you're pretty good. But you still have this big
Catastrophic
mistake.
errors, yeah.
And you don't give your goaltender a ton of chance on some of those. And then you also have a goaltender who is struggling.
Yeah.
It's a really tough situation to be in. So the caliber of opponents that they have coming up in this month will speed bag you if you do not pick up your level of play night in and night out. Georgiev, Byram, Johansson, you know, some of the guys who have underwhelmed a little bit this year, if those guys can tune it up a bit, they're formidable. They'll probably do just fine this month, and we'll look back and we'll be like, this was the month the season really began, you know, that kind of narrative.
If you're going to be inconsistent, which you shouldn't, but is it normal? Okay, I'll say okay. Sometimes it is. Then you do that before Christmas. After Christmas, I always say this is where you separate, you know, the real teams and the phony teams. You know what I mean? That's how I've always looked at it. I've been part of phony teams and I've been part of real teams. And there's a difference. It's like, hey, it's time to put on a drive now and we're not looking back. We're on the highway and we're pressing.
Yeah.
And we're going and we don't look back. You know what I mean? So there's no pit stops or rest areas for, you know what I mean? We just go. We're going straight through like you were supposed to go to Dallas, you know, not Dallas, but Texas. Straight through, you know, no pit stops.
28 games to the trade dedeadline.
That's my point. So you're talking
28
about
games till the
you're
trade
talking
deadline.
about Ben Myers right now, like make decisions. It's the same for everybody else. You're talking
Ryan
about
Johansson.
the 2C. You're talking about all that stuff. You got to show right now that you want to be part of something. Because I'll tell you one thing. You're part of something, and it's happened in the history of the league, you know what I mean, many times, and trades are made, and all of a sudden you go win the Stanley Cup, and you were the one that was, and then you look from your Mai Tai and your pool in the summer, and you're watching the Avs win, you know, go on a playoff run. It's tough, but you had your opportunity, you had your chance to, you know, show that you belong, you know what I mean, on that squad.
28 games. You'd love to see him go 20-8. Roughly 700 hockey.
I'll say it. We go back to our 10-game segments, you know, like 7-3, 7-3. I do believe that's what this team is. I think they're a 7-3 hockey team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's realistic with the weapons that they have. And again, you know, keep the health and everything. But, you know, if they would have gotten more stable goaltending this year, I think in that stretch, though, they could have gone 7-3, right? Just do the math, you know what I mean? 7-3, 7-3. And then remember they went 5-5, whatever it was. 4-4-2.
Yep.
So they're a little bit of better goaltending, a little bit of more production on the ones we're talking about right there.
Yeah.
This is a 7-3 team.
I hope so. Let's get into my bets because that's how they're going to get a little bit of this solved. Starting off with a little bit of Mikko action at +1, or it's Taves action as start off, I guess. +125 for an assist. You get positive money for an Avalanche defenseman to get an assist in their top 4, certainly. It's usually good money to take. Taking the Mikko +125 on the power play, make that thing work, get it going. And then you have Georgiev over on saves. You want to see Georgiev really start to string together, turn a good couple games into a good month here. And then you start having that conversation about him being back to where you'd like him to be. Go with those 3 bets with me, or of course you can go over to Bet365 and bet on whatever you're feeling for tonight's game. Maybe you're a Noah Dobson truther and want to put money on him scoring a goal. Who knows? You can go with that option.
It's Kale.
It's Kale night.
Anytime Kale goes up against another guy that's in conversation for the Norris,
Puts him down.
he may not admit it, but he's like, I'm putting this guy down.
Let's go. I'm here for that take. I'm here for the Kale bet as well. Do it with Bet365, and when you sign up with the DNVR 365 code today, not only do you get $150 in bonus bets, but take a screenshot of your account with the $10 in it, send it over to promo@thednvr.com, and you will get a coupon for a free shirt from the DNVR locker. So you can go rep the Avs or any other Colorado team, whatever you want to do. Go get it with Bet365. Of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado, and you or someone you know, if they have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right, we're going to wrap this up. We got puck drop right around the corner here. We are doing a watch along, so come join us for that. Should be a fun time. If not, at very least, join us for the post game where we'll break down whatever happened in this hockey game. We will talk to you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.